handheld chassis punch, hydraulic chassis punch. This is the kit that it comes with. So it comes with 5 punches and 2 shafts for the different size punches and 3 different spacers, and even comes with a drill bit to get you started for your first hole, for your first mandrel. So what we're going to do today is show you how to punch a hole and go through any little problems that may arise that may damage the tool or just basically makes it easier for you to use. So take out the punch, it's all in one, the hydraulic ram, and everything's all in one small unit, so it's nice and easy to lift and manoeuvre around in small spaces. To start with, use the small shaft, and it just screws straight into the front of the unit. Screw that down, doesn't need to be tight, but just until it stops. And then when you're punching the hole, you use a spacer that goes in here, so you don't have to do as many punches as many strokes rather on the punch to pull the punch through. Then you select your punch. This comes with the 5 different sizes, like I said. A 16mm it's basically set up for an electrical type purposes. So it's all your electrical type standard sizes. So 16mm, 20mm, 25mm, 32mm, and a 40mm standard with it. And we're going to punch a 20mm hole, which we can then use to put the larger shaft through, or a 20mm gland to punch the larger holes. So you put on the front of the punch the die, making sure it's the right way around, so when your punch is pulled into it, it doesn't, if it was the wrong way around, it would bottom out on the back of it and break your punch. Okay, make sure it's the right way around, and then you're ready to do your punching. So now we've got it all set up, ready to punch our hole. We've got our 11mm shaft, we've drilled an 11.5mm hole, or 12mm, whichever works sort of best, and it doesn't really matter. Put the shaft through the hole, then you get your punch, screw your punch onto the other side, making sure that the thread is all the way through the punch. Then, so you're all ready to punch your hole now. Close the valve on the hydraulics and then just give it some gentle pumps. You'll feel the pressure come on the punch now, which it is, and it's starting to punch through the metal. Just keep going gently. Until you hear the punch come through and you feel it go loose, and at that point you stop. Too much further than that, you'll pull the shaft down through and damage the punch and possibly damage the die and could damage hydraulics. So that's the point you stop. Turn the hydraulic valve off, shaft will come back out and your punch falls out. So now we're going to change the size of the shaft to our larger 19mm shaft to allow us to put the bigger punches through. So that just screws out. Because you haven't over tightened anything, it just comes out easily by hand. You don't need any tools under normal circumstances. And your larger 19mm shaft goes in with a short thread going in. As before, just screw it all the way down until it stops. Now, to put our 40mm punch on, we need to put some spacers in to pull it towards the thread further, so we don't have to pump the hydraulic ram down so far. So we'll use both of our 19mm spacers. Put those on there. Put the die on, making sure it's the right way around. Through the hole. Screw the punch on again into the larger shaft and all the way down, making sure the thread's through once again. Close the valve on the hydraulics and pump your way through. Plucking in as it comes through. Pull it off, back off your valve. unscrew the punch, and your punch rings just fall out again. And it leaves a nice clean hole, 40mm. So it's your 40.5 cutout, and so your 40mm gland fits through perfectly. And it'll seal nicely to give you a correct IP rating. And as you can see, we're left with these punch outs that are all broken up into 3 pieces per hole. As opposed to traditional chassis punches, these are very easy to get out of the die because they just basically cut themselves and they just fall out. Also much better than a hole saw. You don't end up with swarf and filings all over the place getting through electrical parts and that you may not want that in, and there's a lot less to clean up. So that's our Simcoe punch.